The battery gap between iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max is the largest Apple has ever shipped. Not slightly larger, not incrementally better. We're talking a 1,279 milliamp hour difference between two phones that cost $100 apart. And that number changes the entire conversation about which one you should buy. There's also something happening with the Pro Max camera this year, a rumored exclusive feature that no other review is talking about clearly yet. We'll get there, but first, let's talk about what Apple just quietly confirmed. This video covers everything confirmed and rumored about iPhone 18 Pro versus Pro Max, the battery numbers that just leaked from regulatory filings, the camera question Apple hasn't answered, the supply warning from analysts, and the real answer to whether you should buy an iPhone 17 right now or wait. I've gone through every credible leak, analyst report, and regulatory filing available as of August 2025. And I landed on a take that's a little different from the standard wait for the new phone advice, especially for one specific type of buyer. We'll get there. Every year, Pro Max has a bigger battery than Pro. That's not news. What is news is how much bigger it is this year. Here are the numbers, pulled directly from regulatory filings. iPhone 18 Pro Max, 5,567 milliamp hours. iPhone 18 Pro, 4,288 milliamp hours. That's a 1,279 milliamp hour gap between the two models. For context, last year, iPhone 17 Pro maxed out at 4,252 milliamp hours. iPhone 17 Pro Max sat at 5,088. So the gap between Pro models last year was about 836 milliamp hours. This year, it's 1,279. That's 53% wider than before. And here's the part that makes this genuinely interesting. iPhone 18 Pro's battery barely moved, up from 4,252 to 4,288. Essentially the same phone, efficiency-wise. Meanwhile, Pro Max jumped from 5,088 to 5,567, a 10% increase on top of an already massive battery. Both phones will have better battery life than their predecessors. The A20 Pro chip and Apple's new C2 modem are both more efficient. But the delta between models, that's the biggest it's ever been. If you're the kind of person who watches your battery percentage like a stock ticker, the decision just got easier. There is one trade-off. A bigger battery means a heavier phone. Apple doesn't announce weight until the event, but physics doesn't lie, like more battery, more weight. Whether that matters to you is a personal call. Okay, so here's where things get a little murky, and I want to be honest about what we know versus what's still a rumor. This year, Apple is rumored to be introducing a variable aperture system in the iPhone 18 camera. Variable aperture means the lens opening can physically change like a real camera, giving you more creative control in different lighting conditions. That's a big deal. Here's the catch. A credible leaker suggested this feature might be Pro Max exclusive. Not confirmed by a second source, but the analyst covering Apple's camera roadmap says this will be, his exact words, an especially big year for camera upgrades. When people who track Apple supply chains for a living use words like that, it usually means something. Now, historically, Apple has kept Pro and Pro Max cameras identical. The size difference was always just screen and battery. If that changes this year, if the Pro Max gets variable aperture and the Pro doesn't, that's a different product entirely, not just a bigger phone, a better camera system. We'll know for certain September 9th. But if you're debating between models right now, price and the possibility, here's the part nobody's making enough noise about. Getting an iPhone 18 Pro on launch day might be harder than usual. The A20 Pro chip uses a new packaging method, TSMC's 2 nanometer process, with wafer-level integration, meaning the processor and DRAM are assembled together at the chip level. What that means in plain English, Apple can't stockpile chips in advance and add memory later. They need the DRAM present during manufacturing. And right now, DRAM is in short supply globally because AI data centers are consuming it faster than fabs can produce it. Analysts are flagging this. The expectation is that Apple will be able to fulfill first day pre orders, but retail inventory will be constrained for weeks after launch. This is not the year to walk into a store on launch day without a pre order and expect to leave with a phone. If you want an iPhone 18 Pro or Pro Max at launch, pre order the day the store opens, no exceptions. That's not me being dramatic. That's analysts who track Apple's supply chain for a living. Okay, so here's the real conversation, because if you're watching this, there's a good chance you're not trying to choose between Pro and Pro Max. You're trying to figure out whether to buy anything at all right now or wait. Here's the situation nobody's being fully straight about. The iPhone 18, the standard model, not the Pro, is not coming in September at all. Apple is skipping the standard model at the fall launch for the first time ever. iPhone 18 standard doesn't arrive until spring 2027. So if you're waiting for the regular iPhone 18, you're waiting 6 months after the Pro launch. That changes the math significantly. Now here's where the money part matters. iPhone 17 starts at $799. iPhone 18 Pro is expected to cost $100 to $300 more than its predecessor. iPhone 17 pricing could also increase when Apple introduces the 18 Pro, a move Apple already pulled with Macs and iPads this year. Meaning, if you wait and buy an iPhone 17 in October after the 18 Pro launches, you might pay more for it than you would right now. And your current phone's trade-in value, it drops the day new iPhones are announced every year, without exception. So the financial argument for waiting is actually weaker than it looks. Now, let's talk about the iPhone 18 standard specifically, because there are some details here that might make you feel better about not waiting for it. I'm going to say something that sounds like heresy. The iPhone 18 might actually be a step down in value compared to iPhone 17, not in raw specs, in the value equation. Here's what the rumors say Apple is doing to keep the standard model affordable while raising its price. Cheaper, less bright screen. A 20 chip with fewer GPU cores than the Pro version. Components shared with the budget iPhone 18e model, which is the lowest rung of Apple's lineup. And on RAM, the number that determines which iOS 27 AI features you get, iPhone 17 has 8 gigabytes. iPhone 18 is rumored to land at 9 gigabytes, which sounds like an upgrade. Until you find out that the new Siri voice customization features in iOS 27, the ones Apple has been promoting heavily, require 12 gigabytes. 9 gigabytes doesn't unlock those features, so you'd wait 6 months, potentially pay more, get cost-cut components, and still miss the headline AI feature of the software update. 17, by the way, misses those features too. But you can buy it right now for $799, and it's genuinely great. 120 hertz ProMotion display, same wide and ultra-wide cameras as the Pro, a 18 chip that's not meaningfully slower for 99% of real-world use. If you're coming from an iPhone 13, 14, or 15, the iPhone 17 is a massive upgrade, and there's no version of the iPhone 18 story that makes waiting feel obviously worth it. So let me give you the actual answer. If you want the best iPhone Apple makes right now, and you're willing to spend Pro money, pre-order the iPhone 18 Pro Max on day one. The battery advantage is the biggest in Apple history. The potential camera exclusive could matter, and the supply situation means hesitation costs you weeks if you want the Pro, but the Pro Max feels excessive, and the 18 Pro is still a great phone. Just know the gaps between models are wider this year than they've ever been. If you're on a budget or you're coming from an older phone and you don't need a Pro, buy an iPhone 17 now. Don't wait for the standard iPhone 18. The math doesn't work. The features don't justify it. And your trade-in is losing value every week. The one person who should wait, if you specifically want the iPhone Ultra, Apple's first foldable, that's something genuinely new, different category, different decision. I'll cover that separately. But here's the question I'll leave you with. Apple reserved its biggest battery jump ever for the Pro Max, and maybe its best camera upgrade too. Is that worth the price difference to you, or does that feel like Apple is manufacturing reasons to spend more? Let me know what you think.